Hello, I'm Richard Edwards and welcome to EVs and Beyond. Now today we're talking about three letters, MEB. MEB stands for Volkswagen's new electric vehicle platform. What's a platform? A series of components that allow various companies to put together cars in an efficient way. In this case, we're going to see cars on the MEB platform from Volkswagen, Audi, Seat, and even Ford who signed on to the program. But today we're going to start with the first MEB car to launch in New Zealand, the Skoda Enyaq. The Skoda Enyaq is a medium-sized SUV with a starting price of $92,990 for the Sportline 80, $97,990 for the Max model, and $102,990 for the Coupe Max. Yes, you can get this also in a coupe body style. While MEB offers a range of battery sizes, Skoda is launching with only one in the New Zealand market, an 82 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion unit with an impressive WLTP range of 532 kilometers for the SUV and 544 kilometers for the coupe. We think about 450 kilometers is more realistic in the real world for this car. Now, being on an all-electric platform, the Skoda Enyaq doesn't quite match proportions you'd expect from a normal SUV, similar, its ICE cousins. It's a little bit cab forward, relatively short nose, big body, lots of interior volume. Now, it does have a very bluff nose with this crystal face that seems to be part of Skoda's new electric vehicle design language. These very technical looking headlights and quite a bluff nose to it, though we do understand it is actually very aerodynamic. It's been tested and designed in a way to let air get over it well. Now, there is a bonnet here, there is no frunk, which is weird because the vehicle is rear-wheel drive, as we said. There is an all-wheel drive option, but still we have a whole pile of inverter and motor parts under there. I'm not sure why Tesla seems to be the only one that can do a frunk properly. Now, if we go around the side here, we've got Sportline badging. All the Enyaqs launched in the market so far are of a Sportline nature, a sportier model, because that's what they see people are buying. Have these huge 20-inch wheels with those self-sealing tyres. So I guess another reason not to have a spare in the car. If we move around, we've got the tinted windows, we've got these black highlights across the top, a black spoiler over the rear window, and then this is Skoda, so it's got quite a few little nice practicality touches. I mean, starting with we've got the swipe to open on the boot, and then inside we've got a nice touch that we can pull this handle to pop the rear seat. We've got some additional storage space under the floor here, including something I've never seen before. That's a charging cable cleaner. I'm not sure why they would have that. And then if we move around the driver's side here, have the last of the kind of really cool touches from the exterior of the doors. If you open up here, we've got an umbrella. Right, so inside the Enyaq is really spacious, and I'm really surprised at the quality and the ambiance you've got here. There are pretty much no hard plastics. Everything is nice, and even if it's firmer, it has a nice touch to it. Now, you've got a huge big infotainment screen up here, Apple CarPlay, all the usual fixings from that, a nice sporty steering wheel, big comfortable sporty seats that are memory and electric on both the driver and the passenger. That's a really nice touch for those married couples who are different heights, different sizes, like my wife and I. You got USB charging ports down here. Now, the drive control is a little bit weird. You've got this tiny little switch here for your transmission. You have no park function, so you've kind of got to put the handbrake on or just jump out and the car will stop. Now, I have one little gripe with these controls, and that the start-stop button says engine, but this doesn't have an engine. Now, considering the quality of the interior in this car and the spaciousness, you'd have to ask yourself, is it worth stepping up to the Audi e-tron? And I guess really what you're getting with an e-tron is potentially maybe a little more range if you spend a lot, definitely more performance, but from a daily usability level and from the interior quality and comfort, I really think the Enyaq almost matches it. Rear seat space is excellent, and there are some nice touches like window blinds and USB-C ports that the rear passengers can use. Right, so what's the Enyaq like to drive? Well, it's pretty nice. I mean, the control system down here is good. As we mentioned before, I'm not a fan of the lack of a park button, but the park brake works okay. The steering is nice, it's nothing too adventurous. There's a reasonable amount of power. It's 150 kilowatts and 350 newton meters of torque. Performance is okay, 8.6 kilometers to 100. And on the open road, it's a nice performing car. It feels good. The handling wise, it's a little bit interesting. Now, there's a fairly big heavy car, and as we've mentioned before, it is rear wheel drive. So if you're on a slightly damp road and you do push it hard, you will see the electronic stability control kick in fairly early, more than I kind of expected. But it's not like it's a bad thing. It's not like the car is going offline or anything. It just seems to need a little bit of electronic intervention more often than I would have thought. But other than that, super comfortable, super quiet. Now, hopefully in the future we'll see high performance models coming off this MEB platform, because of course you can have an all-wheel drive version of this, you can have motors at the front, you can have motors at the back, but for the moment it's just an all-round nice, inoffensive drive. And that's probably what you want in a car like this. You're really after comfort, you're after that relaxing aspect of it being quieter, and just an enjoyable all-round Kiwi cruiser. The Skoda Enyaq is a fantastic addition to the electric SUV market, combining style, comfort, sustainability, and reasonable performance. Now sure, you could spend a little less and go for a Tesla Model Y, but I think you're giving up on about 15 kilowatt hours of battery capacity and significant amounts of build quality. In the other direction, you could spend quite a bit more for similar levels of space and a little more luxury, but not necessarily any more range or performance. The Enyaq justifies its price tag and should be at the top of your list when considering an electric SUV. I'll give you one more thing to think about though. Skoda now supplies many police cars, and while they definitely will not comment on this, this could be the first electric vehicle to wear New Zealand police livery. So that means that everyone that you follow at some point will likely slow down to 100 kilometers an hour or slower, which could be a bit of a hassle.